Guess the flag, read the clue, pick the country. Welcome to Quiz Mantis. Today's round is World Cup flags. Subscribe for a fresh quiz every day. Can you name these World Cup countries? Let's play. Question 1. Which country has this flag? Clue. Host country famous for tacos, Aztec history, and green-white red flag. Mexico. The host nation clue and the green, white, and red vertical stripes point to Mexico. Question 2. Which country has this flag? Clue. African nation known for Nelson Mandela and the 2010 World Cup. South Africa. The green Y design is the signature clue. Question 3. Which country has this flag? Clue. Asian country known for K-pop, Seoul, and Sun Heung-min. South Korea. The T-juk symbol and black marks identify South Korea. Question 4. Which country has this flag? Clue. Central European country once part of Czechoslovakia. Czechia. The blue triangle with white and red bands identifies Czechia. Question 5. Which country has this flag? Clue. Host country with maple leaves and ice hockey culture. Canada. The red maple leaf makes this one very direct. Question 6. Which country has this flag? Clue. Balkan country known for its heart-shaped outline and blue and yellow flag. Bosnia and Herzegovina. The yellow triangle and white stars are the key. Question 7. Which country has this flag? Clue. Hosted the 2022 World Cup in the desert. Qatar. The maroon color and serrated white edge identify Qatar. Question 8. Which country has this flag? Clue. Country of the Alps, watches, chocolate, and a white cross flag. Switzerland. The white cross on red is the famous Swiss flag. Question 9. Which country has this flag? Clue. The only country to win the World Cup 5 times. Brazil. The green field, yellow diamond, and blue globe are Brazil. Question 10. Which country has this flag? Clue. African semi-finalists in 2022, famous for the Atlas Lions. Morocco. Red field, green star, Morocco. Question 11. Which country has this flag? Clue. Caribbean nation sharing an island with the Dominican Republic. Haiti. The blue and red bands point to Haiti. Question 12. Which country has this flag? Clue. UK nation known for tartan, bagpipes, and the tartan army. Scotland. The white saltire on blue is Scotland. Question 13. Which country has this flag? Clue. Host country with stars and stripes. United States. Stars and stripes plus the host clue give it away. Question 14. Which country has this flag? Clue. South American country with red, white, and blue horizontal flag stripes. Paraguay. The red, white, and blue horizontal tricolor points to Paraguay. Question 15. Which country has this flag? Clue. The Socceroos from the land of kangaroos. Australia. The Union Jack and white stars identify Australia. Question 16. Which country has this flag? Clue. Country linking Europe and Asia, famous for Istanbul. Turkey. The white crescent and star on red identify Turkey. Question 17. Which country has this flag? Clue. Four-time World Cup winners, famous for efficiency and black-red-gold flag. Germany. Black, red, and gold horizontal stripes identify Germany. Question 18. Which country has this flag? Clue. Small Caribbean island making a historic World Cup appearance. Curaçao. The blue field, yellow stripe, and two stars identify Curaçao. Question 19. Which country has this flag? Clue. West African country nicknamed the Elephants. Côte d'Ivoire. Orange, white, and green vertical bands identify Côte d'Ivoire. Question 20. Which country has this flag? Clue. South American country named after the equator. Ecuador. Yellow, blue, and red with the equator clue points to Ecuador. Question 21. Which country has this flag? Clue. Orange shirts, total football, and windmills. Netherlands. Red, white, and blue horizontal stripes point to the Dutch. Question 22. Which country has this flag? Clue. Asian football powerhouse known as the Samurai Blue. Japan. The red circle on a white field is Japan. Question 23. Which country has this flag? Clue. Scandinavian country with a blue and yellow flag. Sweden. The yellow Nordic cross on blue belongs to Sweden. Question 24. Which country has this flag? Clue. North African country nicknamed the Eagles of Carthage. Tunisia. The red flag with white circle, crescent, and star is Tunisia. Question 25. Which country has this flag? Clue. Red devils from the country of waffles and Brussels. Belgium. Black, yellow, and red vertical stripes identify Belgium. Question 26. Which country has this flag? Clue. Country of the Pyramids and Mohammed Salah. Egypt. The Pharaoh's clue plus the red, white, and black tricolor points to Egypt. Question 27. Which country has this flag? Clue: Middle Eastern team often called Team Melli. Iran. Green, white, and red horizontal bands point to Iran. Question 28. Which country has this flag? Clue: Oceania nation nicknamed the All Whites. New Zealand. The red southern stars separate it from Australia's flag. Question 29. Which country has this flag? Clue: 2010 World Cup winners, famous for tiki-taka football. Spain. The broad yellow middle band between red stripes is Spain. Question 30. Which country has this flag? Clue: Island nation off West Africa making its World Cup debut. Cabo Verde. The blue flag with stripes and stars points to Cabo Verde. Question 31. Which country has this flag? Clue: Shocked Argentina in the 2022 World Cup. Saudi Arabia. The green field, script, and sword point to Saudi Arabia. Question 32. Which country has this flag? Clue: Won the first ever World Cup in 1930. Uruguay. The sun and sky blue stripes make it Uruguay. Question 33. Which country has this flag? Clue: European country known for the Eiffel Tower, croissants, and the blue-white red flag. France. Blue, white, and red vertical stripes belong to France. Question 34. Which country has this flag? Clue: West African champions nicknamed the Lions of Teranga. Senegal. Green, yellow, red, and the center star point to Senegal. Question 35. Which country has this flag? Clue: Middle Eastern country returning after a long World Cup absence. Iraq. The red-white-black tricolor with green script identifies Iraq. Question 36. Which country has this flag? Clue: Scandinavian country with Erling Haaland. Norway. The blue Nordic cross on red belongs to Norway. Question 37. Which country has this flag? Clue: Defending champions, home of Lionel Messi. Argentina. Sky blue and white, plus the champion's clue, points to Argentina. Question 38. Which country has this flag? Clue: North African country nicknamed the Desert Foxes. Algeria. The green and white split plus crescent and star identify Algeria. Question 39. Which country has this flag? Clue: European country known for Vienna and the Alps. Austria. Red, white, and red horizontal bands identify Austria. Question 40. Which country has this flag? Clue: Middle Eastern country making its World Cup debut. Jordan, the red triangle with a white star points to Jordan. Question 41. Which country has this flag? Clue: European country known for Cristiano, explorers, and the red and green flag. Portugal, the red and green flag belongs to Portugal. Question 42. Which country has this flag? Clue: Central African country returning after decades away. DR Congo. The sky blue flag with a red diagonal stripe identifies DR Congo. Question 43. Which country has this flag? Clue: Central Asian country making its World Cup debut. Uzbekistan. Blue, white, and green bands with moon and stars identify Uzbekistan. Question 44. Which country has this flag? Clue: South American country famous for yellow shirts and passionate fans. Colombia. The large yellow band above blue and red identifies Colombia. Question 45. Which country has this flag? Clue: Home of the Premier League and the Three Lions. England. The Red Cross of St. George is England's flag. Question 46. Which country has this flag? Clue: 2018 finalists with red and white checkerboard shirts. Croatia. The red-white-blue tricolor with checkerboard shield points to Croatia. Question 47. Which country has this flag? Clue: West African country nicknamed the Black Stars. Ghana. The black star in the middle makes Ghana easier to spot. Question 48. Which country has this flag? Clue: Central American country famous for its canal. Panama. The quartered flag with blue and red stars identifies Panama. Final score: how many flags did you get right? Comment your score and come back for new quiz every day.